There have been close to 40,000 documented lies from the man wearing a diaper, and of course a pageant of weak men and women standing by his side. But this lie, it may be the funniest and most frightening yet.
Doge and OMB also found that there was about to be 50 million taxpayer dollars that went out the door to fund condoms in Gaza.
Yeah, this is about the condom story. I understood some of the condom story yesterday, but this gives us a breakdown. Remember, Trump and every Republican's like, we shut down $50 million that was being funded for condoms. Listen to what really happened here. This is incredible.
So now we're starting to realize where some of the confusion over the quote unquote $300 million for condoms in Gaza actually came from. And you guys are going to fucking cackle just like I did. Somebody within this new White House administration confused Gaza, Palestine with the Gaza Peninsula of Mozambique, a completely different place, whole different country. And what they were talking about was a fucking global health initiative that was founded under George W. Bush called PEPFAR, which helps to prevent the
Make it cream, make me scream out in public, make a scene.
Come on.
African nation. Something that we've been doing hand in hand with the World Health Organization for quite some time. Humanitarian aid that has been in place for decades. But these dumb motherfuckers have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea that that was even a fucking country, because apparently there can only be one Gaza anywhere in the world. And these are the people that are in charge of our fucking government. I hate it here.
That's Chasing Oz on TikTok. Chasing OZ. Remember yesterday we were trying to figure it out. We're like, what are they talking about? Like the health initiatives in Gaza? Like, where are they getting this figure from? Turns out they're all just fucking dumb. But we should probably talk more about this. The video.
Condoms for Hamas.
I'm sure you're familiar with the saying, you can't make this shit up.
This is RA Media. This is Chip Franklin, who is brand new to me today. I don't know if you guys know Chip Franklin. Chip Franklin has less of a filter than I do, but I just want to double down on this.
That's basically the last 10 years with Fat Donnie and his traveling circus. There have been close to 40,000 documented lies from the man wearing a diaper, and of course a pageant of weak men and women standing by his side. But this lie, it may be the funniest and most frightening yet.
Doge and OMB also found that there was about to be 50 million taxpayer dollars that went out the door to fund condoms in Gaza. That is a preposterous waste of taxpayer money. So that's what this pause is focused on.
Okay, that's the new bimbo press secretary wearing her dead Jesus cross while she lies to a billion people. That's kind of a theme. But it gets better. Here's the First Lady taking that lie and injecting it with BS like only he can.
Big bureaucracy where there has been tremendous waste and fraud and abuse. In that process, we identified and stopped $50 million being sent to Gaza to buy condoms for Hamas. 50 million. And you know what's happened to them? They've used them as a method of making bombs. How about that?
That's a good one.
Now, I'm no military specialist, but I am curious as to how you turn a condom into something that goes boom. Do you put the C4 into the condom and hope somebody wears it? That would be my greatest nightmare. I used to have one in my wallet when I was 16. I kept it there, not in case I got laid, which never happened, but in case the Russians invaded. I'd be ready.
This guy's name's Chip Franklin. I've never seen him before in my life, but I do immediately love him. Also, by the way, I can't find the source on condom bombs is like, it's a tweet. It's just a tweet from like a guy. That's it. That's the whole source. It's just a tweet from a guy that's like, this is what they're doing.
Has he used 6 condoms or only 5? But this is just getting started. Apparently, the U.S. does spend money on contraception for certain parts of the world like Africa, mostly to slow the spread of HIV. But the U.S. has spent exactly 0 on condoms for Gaza, not the 50 million Trump says. And a USAID report confirms that none of the 60 million in U.S.-funded contraceptives last year went anywhere near Gaza. In fact, no condoms were sent to the Middle East. It's also worth noting this is not just a Biden program. Trump, too, spent funds on sending rubbers around the globe. In 2019, Trump Trump spent $40 million on contraceptives. Okay, here's where it gets frightening. Remember DOGE, that bizarre-sounding acronym, which is the Department of Government Efficiency, led by this freak show, Elon Musk? Elon! Well, when Katie with the Cross held her press conference, she pooped a little bit out of her mouth that Elon was busy saving the U.S. millions.
Again, the past 4 years, we've seen the Biden administration spend money like drunken sailors. It's a big reason we've had an inflation crisis in this country.
God, if stupid was a disease, she might be ground zero. Worldwide inflation started under the First Lady when we threw $1 trillion into the economy. And when the world opened up, everyone started spending and buying. The pandemic caused supply chain issues that limited the availability of some goods and services. This, combined with increased demand, led to higher prices. And Biden dropped it dramatically. Now, eggs are $11 a dozen right now because of the bird flu. But if Trump passes these tariffs, it'll make the pandemic look like a bake sale. All right, let's get back to Katie with the Cross.
This administration is taking into consideration how hard the American people are working. And their tax dollars actually matter to this administration.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Then give them some goddamn money. Give them a fucking break. We care about the American people. What are you going to do about it? We're going to keep caring. Are you going to do anything else? No. We're just going to care. That's what we're going to. Can you do something how is this not number one on the agenda? People are struggling. People can't afford groceries. Millions of Americans can't afford health care. The infrastructure is crumbling, and they're like,
oh yeah, hat daddy.
Thank you.
Oh yeah,
God
hat daddy. Oh yeah, hat daddy. Right there. Let's see that condom explode. Pull my hair. Jawa.
Jesus. Get it together, people. Can we not do one fucking thing for the American people? Just one? Can this administration just do something? We care deeply. We don't fucking care. We don't care about your feelings. That lady goes home to millions of dollars every single day. She's unqualified for the position that she has. She married a rich guy who's going to be dead in a few years, and then she'll have more money. And none of this hurts her. None of this hurts Elon. None of this hurts the Trump.
Trump sends condom
Everybody
bombs of
around
dust to be
Donald
dropped
Trump.
on maggots to eat
hurt.
half their brain. That's why they exhibit cult-like behavior.
That's exactly why they exhibit cult-like behavior. But can they do one goddamn thing for us? Just one. Is that too much to ask for the Trump people? Do we have any here yet? Have they figured out how to use the internet yet? Just one. Give us one thing that we can be like, hey, we like that Trump did that. Can you, if you want to come together, don't. If you want us to come together, give us something. Just one fucking thing once, please. Stop arresting immigrants and giving your buddies tax breaks, and do one goddamn thing for the American people.
Interrupt again, but the reason why Americans are paying more in taxes is because Trump lowered the corporate tax rate from 35 to 21%, and that costs us trillions in revenue.
What is this one? Withdrawing from the World Health Organization, sir?
Ooh, that's a big one.
During this pause,
Well, that's our president. That's our president. What am I about to sign? Withdrawing from the World Health Organization. Ooh, that's our president. he almost died. He almost died the last time he was president because he undid everything that the previous administration had put in place for a global pandemic, and he almost died. And now they're like, hey, we should make sure that we're never prepared for that ever again. He's like, ooh, oh, that sounds nice.
DOGE and OMB have actually found that there was $37 million that was about to go out the door to the World Health Organization, which is an organization, as you all know, that President Trump, with the swipe of his pen in that executive order, is no longer wants the United States to be a part of. So that wouldn't be in line with the president's agenda.
Yeah, maybe we should all just put on crosses, because then we'll be safe from the bird flu and vampires. That'd be cool. Maybe if we all just wear giant crosses around our necks so people know that we're a Christian while we're cutting funding for poor people, and we're making sure that people around the world won't be protected from global pandemics. As long as we put Jesus on around our neck, we're good. We're good. We're a good Christian thing to do.
God, is she stupid. We stand on the precipice of a bird flu pandemic, and Trump withdraws from an organization that is actively communicating to keep people safe and save lives.
DOGE and OMB also found that there was about to be 50 million taxpayer dollars that went out the door to fund condoms in Gaza.
All right, enough for her. But here's the part that gives you insight as to what happens when trillionaires run your government. Remember when Musk said he would take the guardrails off X so anybody could say whatever they wanted? And that community notes, that is people and groups groups could respond to the veracity of dubious claims? Well, Robert Mackey, a reporter for The Guardian, posted this, saying what I just told you, that Biden didn't send a dime to Hamas. And a community note appeared backing his claims that Doge didn't find anything of the sort. And then someone at X made it, poof, disappear.
I want to say one thing about Chip Franklin. We had this conversation last night, and one of the things that we do a lot on the left is I love being on this side of the aisle. I really do. As being on both sides of the aisle, I love this one because I don't have to make excuses for why I treat certain groups of people like dog shit. I love that. That's great. I, honest to God, sleep better. I don't have to pretend that things aren't happening so that like they don't go against my beliefs. It's great. I love it here, and I love all of you guys. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate being friends. The other thing we do is we cancel the shit out of people, and that's also fine too. I also think some people need to be canceled, and by canceled, of course, what I mean is just like publicly criticized. Here's the one thing I don't want us to do, and I'm going to apologize now for the next 4 years. I'm not going to allow somebody's identity to shield them from criticism. There's a little bit of me as a lefty, and I don't know if some of you felt this too, but there's a little bit of me that was like, man, I don't like that he called her a bimbo. I don't really like that. I don't think that that's helpful for the argument. I don't think everybody has to engage in that type of behavior. But this type of video works. This type of video works for radicals, and we've got radicals. Raise your hand in here if you're a radical. And don't lie. Don't lie and say you're a radical and then like later on you're like, I went to a local coffee shop instead of Starbucks. I'm a radical. Raise your hand if you and I'm not, no disrespect. Just if you consider yourself a radical. Can I see just raise the hands? Yeah. All right, listen. Both sides have radicals. We have radicals on our side. We have radicals on their side. Their radicals are fighting to undo protections for marginalized communities. Our radicals are fighting to undo oligarchies. So all I'm saying is don't cancel our radicals. Please, for the love of God. You can tune them out. You can ignore them, whatever you want to do. If people like Chip here say things that you don't like, and yeah, I think that him calling her a bimbo is a little misogynistic. But I also think that that type of shit works. And if you're going to show up on stage and you're going to lie with a big-ass cross, knowing that you are a person who stole from voters, like, I don't give a shit. Let's just not cancel the radicals. That's all I'm saying. Going forward, let the radicals do their thing. And if you don't want to, if it pains you to be involved with radicals, I applaud that too. I think that's great. But don't throw the radicals out of the party. Don't push them off to the side. Let the radicals speak. Bring them up. Don't censor them. Don't tone police people. Unless they're calling for inciting violence or they're going after people for their traits that they can't control, let's let the radicals talk. We need a hell of a lot more Chip Franklins here.